I'm Christine. Welcome to my sewing room. This is Christine Sews a Lot. Now, the sewing room does look a little different here. We are mostly packed up. We're going to be closing on this house and the house we're buying in 2 weeks. Very exciting. It's even more exciting since we've got most of the work behind us. I will say I have been sleeping really well, and it's mostly from the mental exhaustion more so than the physical exhaustion, because I've been doing cleaning and packing for weeks, but all the mental activity with the negotiations with the buying and looking at floor coverings and paint and all the things that go into buying and moving, I've just slept really, really well. So, the new house. I'm at the point now where we've done a lot of the hard chores and we've signed on for the movers and have worked out so many details that I'm just ready to move and get into the new place. We are going to be doing a little updating. I will say the seller that has kept the house updated, and what she has chosen has been, I would call it, very timeless, and I like her taste. There's not a lot that has to be done in that sense, but we're going to be replacing the carpet and changing the paint color in one of the bedrooms. We're going to be pulling up the carpet in what's going to be the sewing room and putting down some luxury vinyl tile, which will be durable. I'm putting in a lighter color, and I'm going to paint the room a lighter color just to reflect light a little more, because light is so important in a sewing room. We are also replacing the carpet in the sunroom. We're putting down ceramic tile because, one, the traffic of going in and out of the house from those doors, we don't have to worry about tracking in dirt and leaves and making stains. And we're going to be putting a large table out there, and I think we're going to eat most of our meals out in the sunroom. So that's all fun, picking those out, and I really do like everything that I have selected. I am one of those people who can make very, very quick decisions. I know what I like, and when I see it, I'm sure of it. So I went into the shop and I was able to narrow down what I wanted, and it was this, this, and this. I did bring the samples to the house while the house inspector was there and put them down on the floor and was like, yep, I do like these here in this room. Done and dusted. So I'm looking forward to seeing it all come together. And I know I'm looking forward to having everything put in its place. I will knock a lot of this out before Charlie arrives to the new house. He is staying in Fairhope an extra couple weeks so he can finish up some duties at church. So after Easter, he will join me. But I think I'm going to have a lot of this unpacked and put away, other than the things going in the rooms where we're changing the floor covering. We are not going to move stuff in there to then just have to move it right back out, change the floor covering, and move it back in. One of the projects that I want to undertake, I will say it's inspired by Adam of Adam Sews, is I think I want to do a little quilted piece to go on top of a buffet. And I want to put something on top to protect the surface. It's a painted piece. It is a piece that I thrifted, and oh my gosh, if I have any pictures of what it looked like before I started working on it, I'll insert them. I think I remember I did not take any photos until I was kind of midway into my bringing new life into this piece of furniture. there were gouges on the top, and it was very sad looking. And I spent a lot of time filling in the gouges and sanding and filling and sanding and using different grits of sandpaper, and then carefully painting the piece. And I drilled some holes to add hardware to the piece, and I really, really like it. And I'm being so precious with it. I think because I have so much work that went into it. The piece was, I don't know, it was under $50 to purchase, and I didn't put $50 of material into it, but I put a lot of time into it, and the functionality is great. So anyway, that's a long story about my love of this bright blue buffet piece. But I want to protect the top, and I don't want to do something too precious for the top because it's going to get coffee grounds on it. We might spill something on it. So I thought I might make 2 quilted pads to cover the top of the buffet, and just something that I can just throw in the washing machine and wash, dry, hit it with the iron, put it back on, and use it. And just not be afraid to use it. Not be afraid that if somebody's bringing out a dish and they're going to put it on top of this buffet, what if something spills? Well, that's what I have this quilted top for. So I'm going to put a little think into doing that. I've never actually quilted, but Adam, you have me inspired, because if I quilt something, that will give some heat protection. So that's already built in if somebody's going to put a casserole or something to serve off of it. And I know there's going to be coffee grounds on it. I know inevitably something's going to be spilled on it. So I'm going to give a little think as to what fabric I will use. I'm going to want something pretty, but I don't want it to be too precious. So let me know if you have some ideas. There are a couple of quilt shops in the town where we're moving. I know, how lucky am I? 2 nice fabric quilt shops in this small town. So I'm going to look at doing that project, and that may be one of my first projects just out of practicality. Now it's going to be a little while before I can order the flooring and schedule the flooring installation and then move things into place in the sunroom and get things in place in the other rooms. But it's just so exciting to think about all these nesting things, making the home our own and making it functional. So let's talk my new sewing room. I'm really looking forward to getting the new sewing space up and going once I get the floor put in and the walls painted. I just think it's going to be so efficient. The new sewing room is going to be about 3 times the size of the room I'm in now. So I'm going to be able to cut, press, and sew all in the same room. And I'm going to be able to store everything either in the room or in the attic access, which is right off the room. There's just a door I can open, a lot of floored space in the attic, and I can slide some of the things that I do not need to have at hand readily into the attic space. I am definitely one of those people who likes to organize things where it's out of sight and tucked neatly away. It's not really out of sight, out of mind. It's out of sight, peace of mind. I just work much better in a less cluttered environment. And that's how we have most of our home decorated. Some might call it a little bit undecorated. I have a few things that I like, but I don't in general like to have a lot of things house. When I'm setting up my new sewing space, I want to do it as smart as possible. Now, Charlie and I have moved more times than we care to admit. And we have had some pieces of furniture or shelving that worked great in the house it was purchased for, but totally did not work in the next house. So I'm going to try to be frugal and use what I have that works well, but I'm not going to force something to work in the space if it just doesn't work. The thing that I really want to spend some time thinking about is the desk or table or unit that I'm going to use for sewing machines and the serger. I think I would like something to go along a wall where I have my machines next to each other so I can move easily from my sewing machine to my serger, back to my sewing machine. So if you have some ideas, whether it's a recommended video, blog post, or if you have something that you love that you think would work well, hit me up below. I'd be really interested in investigating that. So that's where I'm going to be spending a good bit of my time. I'll probably pop in later and give you any updates on what's going on. But until next time, I hope you have a joyful week and that you find a good in all things, especially sewing.